Your brain decides what you're going to do, up to 10 seconds before you know it. That's not a metaphor. That's a neuroscience study. Resonance scans showed that people's brains made choices before they consciously did. So yeah, that time you chose to text your ex at 2 a.m., your prefrontal cortex probably made that call before you even reached for your phone. You're not driving the car, you're narrating the crash. And here's the deal. This isn't just about bad decisions. Your brain is constantly filling in blanks, fabricating logic, and lying to your face with love. So today we're unpacking 5 seriously creepy things your mind does without your permission, and how knowing this stuff might actually give you more control, not less. You decide before you decide. You know that feeling when you're staring at a menu for 15 minutes like it's a life or death decision, and then suddenly go, yeah, I'll get the burger? Here's the twist. Your brain probably picked that burger seconds ago. You just didn't get the memo yet. No joke. In experiments with brain scans, researchers could predict people's choices up to 10 seconds before they consciously made them. That means your brain already hit confirm, and you're just the last one to find out. And look, this doesn't just apply to burgers, it's everything. From who you date to what job you take to why you randomly buy a cactus at 2 a.m. Your brain is constantly scanning, calculating, predicting, and then it hands your conscious mind the conclusion like, here, say this was your idea. We like to think we're logical creatures making rational choices, but we're more like lawyers defending a client we've never met, justifying stuff after the fact with reasons that sound smart but were never part of the original process. It's weird, it's a little offensive, but it's also kind of freeing. Because if your brain is going to make snap decisions anyway, you might as well get curious about why. Start noticing the patterns. Ask yourself, was that really me deciding? Or was that autopilot me reacting? Small action for today? Catch one choice. Just one. And instead of justifying it, rewind the tape. What emotion came up first? What assumption did your brain make before you did? You don't have to fight the autopilot. You just have to learn how to read the dashboard. Your vision is a lie, and that's fine. You ever stare at a wall and it's just a wall? Nothing special. No holes, no gaps. Just flat beige sadness. Want to hear something cursed? There's a literal hole in your vision, and your brain hides it from you. It's called the blind spot. There's a point in your eye where the optic nerve connects, and you technically can't see anything there. But your brain, it doesn't like that. So it just fills it in. Like Photoshop. Like Enhance in a CSI episode. It grabs color, texture, context, and paints over the hole so you think you're seeing everything. Spoiler, you're not. So now we've got a paradox. You see the world with your eyes, but your brain edits the footage before you watch it. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing a rendered version of it, optimized for coherence, not accuracy. It's less like GoPro footage and more like an Instagram filter with bugs. Think about what that means. If your brain edits your vision, what else is it cleaning up for you? Conversations, memories, your ex's red flags. We're walking around thinking we're perceiving the world, but we're really just watching a highlight reel curated for emotional stability. And here's the reframe. It's not your job to see everything perfectly. It's your job to notice where things might be missing. That gut feeling something's off, that deja vu, that weird I swear I saw moment. That's your brain glitching at the edges of its own illusion. So today, play a little game. Ask yourself once, just once, what might I be filling in without realizing it? That question alone can shift how you interpret everything, especially beige walls. They're lying to you. The invisible gorilla problem. Picture this. You're watching a video of people passing a basketball. You're told to count how many times the white team passes it. Easy, right? You're laser focused, doing math like your life depends on it. Then after 30 seconds, someone asks, "Did you see the gorilla?" And no, that's not a metaphor. A literal person in a gorilla suit walked across the screen, stared into the camera, beat their chest, and most people never noticed. This is called inattentional blindness, the brain's favorite magic trick. Turns out when you focus hard on one thing, your brain blurs out everything else. Not because you're lazy, because attention is expensive and your mind runs on a budget. Here's the kicker. You miss the gorilla, the red flags, the obvious signs, not because you're clueless, but because your brain is doing its job. But let that sink in. You live in a world full of invisible gorillas. Stuff happening right in front of you. But your focus is zoomed in on emails or calories or how you sounded in that one meeting 3 days ago. Here's the reframe. Maybe the problem isn't that you're distracted, Maybe it's that you're too focused on the wrong thing. So here's your tiny challenge for the day. Once, just once, pause mid-task and ask, wait, what am I not seeing right now? Sometimes the gorilla isn't in the video. It's in your inbox, or your relationship, or the way you're telling yourself you're fine. Familiarity feels like truth, even when it's a lie. Say something out loud enough times and eventually, it feels true. Not because it is, but because your brain starts recognizing it like an old friend. This is called the illusory truth effect. And it's one of the mind's dirtiest little habits. The more familiar something sounds, the more your brain trusts it, even if it's complete trash. That's why political slogans work. That's why Instagram wellness hacks go viral. And that's why that one sentence your mom said 15 years ago, "You're just not that kind of person," still echoes in your head like it's gospel. The mind doesn't care if it's true, it cares if it's familiar. And that's a terrifying way to build a belief system. Here's the paradox. The more you repeat something, even in your head, the more you start becoming it. Not because it's real, but because your neural pathways are lazy and they take the route that's been walked the most. So when you think, "I'm bad with money," or "I always mess this up," you're not just describing your reality, you're reinforcing it. Here's the reframe. Beliefs aren't built on facts. They're built on repetition. And if that's true, that you can start lying to your brain on purpose. Try repeating a better lie, one that helps you. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about using the same brain bug against itself. Simple action for today. Pick one thing you've always believed about yourself and flip it. Say the opposite once, just for fun. Say it again tomorrow and again the next day. Let your brain get familiar with a version of you that isn't stuck in the same damn loop. Chemistry is just math and molecules. That magnetic pull towards someone, that unexplainable spark, that, I don't know, there's just something about them. It feels personal, romantic, faded. But underneath all that emotion is biology doing algebra in your bloodstream. Attraction is not magic, it's math. Your brain is calculating symmetry, pheromones, and genetic compatibility in the background, while you're busy pretending it was the way they laughed. Studies show we're drawn to people with balanced facial proportions. Not because we're shallow, but because symmetry often signals good health and genetic fitness. Oh, and smell? Yeah, your brain is sniffing for major histocompatibility complex MHC genes that complement your own. You're not catching feelings. Your immune systems are trying to make a baby with strong antivirus software. The paradox? What feels like a soulful connection might be your hormones running a background compatibility test. Chemistry is just code. But here's the twist that actually makes this useful. Just because attraction starts in the unconscious doesn't mean you have to stay unconscious about it. You can learn to tell the difference between real connection and a sensory glitch dressed up as destiny. So next time you find yourself infatuated, stop and ask, what am I actually reacting to here? Their personality? Or the invisible cocktail of molecules hitting my nose like a Tinder ad for my DNA? Awareness won't kill the spark, but it might save you from marrying your immune system's first draft pick. Your mind is not the enemy, it's just weird. So let's get this straight. Your brain fills in fake visuals, makes decisions without asking you, ignores obvious stuff, believes lies if they sound familiar, and gets horny based on symmetry and smell. And somehow, that's supposed to be you? Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of the point. We walk around thinking we're broken because we don't feel in control, like we're inconsistent, or irrational, or messy. But maybe, just maybe, the mess isn't a malfunction. Maybe it's by design. Because the mind isn't a clean, organized machine. It's a bunch of ancient survival software duct taped to modern problems. It glitches, it improvises. It hacks its own code to keep you moving through a world that never stops. And weirdly, that's not a flaw. That's kind of beautiful. You're not crazy, you're not lazy. You're just running on hardware that was built for tigers, not taxes. And once you see the patterns, you get to work with them, not against them. You stop trying to be some perfectly optimized robot version of yourself. And you start being someone real, someone who notices, questions, adjusts, grows, not because they have to, but because they finally get how this strange, glitchy, brilliant brain actually works. All right, if any part of this hit that quiet, uncomfortable part of your brain, the one that's like, oh crap, I do that, then do one thing for future you. Hit like so this video doesn't get buried, and tell me in the comments. What's one thought you keep believing, even though deep down you know it's not true? It can be small, it can be weird, it can be funny or dark, but say it out loud, even if it's just here. Because sometimes the second you name the lie, it starts to lose its power. And that's how we start taking the wheel back. One reframe at a time.